we've taken a number of initiatives as far as this new government goes, because as you rightly said, Hyderabad certainly enjoyed some dominance in the IT industry, but more so in software and IT enabled services. The one complaint I think many of the people sitting in this room certainly have is that the government has not focused enough on ESDMs and also the EMCs that were approved by Government of India some time back. Most definitely, this is one area which we are extremely keen about, which we are extremely gung-ho about. And the 3 or 4 things that we started as initiatives, I'd like to bring it to your notice to begin with. Not only do we have a single window clearance system, which already is in place, but in fact, we are trying to do a much better version wherein, in fact, most of these clearances would be deemed automatically by virtue of setting up an industry. In fact, most of the clearances will be automatically included. The third thing, EMCs that you had mentioned, we have 2 approved electronic manufacturing clusters, and they can't be a better location, because I don't think anywhere in the country you have a EMC which is so close to an international airport, which is so very well connected. I think the first EMC we have, E-City, is only about 10 kilometers from the airport. The second one we have, EMC in Maheshwaram, is 14 kilometers away from the airport. So therefore, I don't think you can have a better deal, better prospect in terms of a location with the sort of wonderful connectivity that Hyderabad has and with the sort of wonderful airport and infrastructure that we have. Yes, we are currently deficit, no 2 thoughts about it. In fact, we had to actually go to the extent of declaring power holiday for a day in a week, and that is not helping your cause. I completely understand, I completely empathize with you, but unfortunately that is the situation we are in, and obviously our priority will have to go to our brothers who are in the agriculture fields, toiling day in and day out to actually save their crops, which after delayed monsoons have now been sowed, and we are actually aggressively working with them as well. End of the day, I'll tell you this, in 2.5 to 3 years from now, Telangana will be a power self-sufficient state, and in 4 years from now, we will be a power surplus state. So there is not, definitely there is a concern right now. We are also working on the immediate short term. Unfortunately, there are 2 challenges here. One, the grid connectivity that Telangana enjoys today is only with the southern neighbors, and none of the southern neighboring states are actually power surplus. They are actually looking out for additional power themselves. So unfortunately, there's not much power available in the southern grid for us to be able to purchase it. Secondly, while there are neighbors in the north, such as Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, who actually have power, unfortunately, our predecessors did not even think about developing a grid connectivity. They could not foresee the situation where the industrial expansion was happening at a rapid pace, where there could be a situation where we may have to have a dedicated power corridor from the north to Telangana, or earlier Andhra Pradesh. Our predecessors did not even bother about that. So that is exactly why I said this is a inheritance. This is an unfortunate inheritance from our predecessors, but we are working on it. And the second thing we are also doing in the short term, we are encouraging renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. So that's the other thing in the short term we are working on. As a medium term solution, the grid connectivity that I just mentioned, we are aggressively working on it. In fact, on a war footing, we are trying to build grid connectivity to Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, so that we can have a dedicated arrangement in the next 18 months or so that we can definitely be not self-sufficient, but self-reliant in terms of the situation that we have today. We have already allocated land in Karimnagar district, Ramagundam. So 4,000 megawatt power project is definitely on the way, and it should be functional in the next 3 years. Simultaneously, our Telangana State Generating Corporation is also engaged in 2 ambitious projects. Right now, we've already kick-started 2 projects for which BHEL has already been awarded the contract, and BHEL will start working soon. About 8,000 megawatts of power is what we've set as a target for ourselves in the next 4 years through Telangana State Generating Corporation. When we assumed office, myself and our secretary and my team here, we started asking questions to a lot of people, to a lot of industry people, to a lot of other people that have, good deal of knowledge about the IT sector and, its importance. The 2 things we got consistently feedback on. One, we were told Hyderabad lacks the ecosystem to encourage research and development, to encourage innovation, to encourage new entrepreneurship. That's the one thing we were told, which Bangalore apparently has. The second thing we were told consistently also is that Hyderabad, while it produces a great many number of engineers, not many of them are employable. That's the unfortunate other thing that we were told repeatedly. And I think that goes back right to Ajay Kumarji's point that we need engineers. We just don't need engineering graduates. We need real engineers. That is really imperative in today's system, today's society, to take not just our IT industry forward. When I say IT, I mean more so the software industry forward, but also the EMCs and hardware industry forward as well. So therefore, the thing that we have launched is to alleviate this problem of skills is what is called Telangana Academy of Skill and Knowledge. We haven't really merely rechristened an existing society. In fact, we have a very good plan towards a task. We envision a situation where we want the industry to come forward as a consortium. We want, exactly as Ajay Kumarji has lucidly explained to us, we want the industry to tell us what it is they want from their potential recruits. We want you to come forward and tell us or give us the curriculum, give us what it is, give us the inputs into building a course which will ensure that these kids, these graduates are employable by the time they graduate. The other thing we also want to do in tandem with you, in association with you, is, see, we believe very strongly that in a sunrise sector like IT, government should merely play the role of a facilitator. We should not really poke our nose where it doesn't belong. We should merely be a facilitator, ensure that you do your job, we do our job properly, and ensure that you have the freedom to do your business properly with all the support from the government. And wherever there is an issue, we surely will step in and will surely correct it. But beyond that, I don't think the government should handhold. The government should really spoon feed all of you, which is not required. In fact, I think in spite of government's support, I think you've done really well for yourself so far. But then there is a long way to travel, which we definitely understand. I'm a firm believer of this theory that entrepreneurship is something that thrives in a free market, that thrives in an environment which is conducive. So therefore, I think governments, they remain as unobtrusive as they can. I think that really does help. And therefore, I would like to request you to come forward because, as part of the Companies Act 2013, now it is a requirement that you also take corporate social responsibility very seriously. So therefore, as part of your CSR initiatives, if you can start working with us, if you can start building a relationship with us, we would like to do through TASK, the Telangana Academy of Skill and Knowledge, just play the role of a facilitator between you and the academic institutions. We want you to come forward as a consortium, give us your inputs, and also help us identify the specific sectors that you would be interested in, the specific courses that you would want to build, the specific curriculums that you want integrated, and ensure we build something together which actually results in some wonderful skill development and not mere lip sympathies and mere pronouncements from the government side. That is not what we are looking for. We are looking for a proper curriculum. We are looking for a proper input from your side so that we can take it forward to a logical conclusion. And toward that, we are in the process of appointing a full-time CEO for TASK, which will be in place very, very soon. Once that person will be in place, I think we will request that person to actually have individual meetings with all of you, with the ESDM sector as well as the software sector, so that we can develop different curriculums for different, the horses for courses saying. I think we need different curriculums for different sectors within IT as well. So we are already working on it, Jay Kumar Sahab, and thank you very much for your input. And obviously, in line of that, I have a couple more things. In fact, Mr. Sharma here was mentioning that while NILIT is National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology, NILIT has 31 units across the country, 31 offices and 31 campuses across the country. Unfortunately, Telangana does not have one because we had one in Srikakulam, which is now part of our neighboring state of Andhra Pradesh. So therefore, he just mentioned that if government of Telangana is going to come forward and allocate land, NILIT would actually come forward and establish an institution with an outlay of with a cost outlay of about 50 crores. More than happy, sir. More than happy to support you. In fact, we'll definitely get you the piece of land which is required. Our IT secretary will work with you and we'll get it very, very soon out to you so that we have our own NILIT campus so that our industry also can start working more closely with you. The second thing I would like to mention also, recently I would like to bring this to all the gentlemen who work in Delhi, especially this to the notice of all the gentlemen who work in Delhi. Recently our government, in fact, has announced that with the sort of infrastructure we have, with the sort of ecosystem that we have, there can't be a better location for locating an aerospace hub than Hyderabad. Because if you think about it, I think Hyderabad predominantly had enjoyed great prominence in the research and development sector, especially the defense sector. The government of India's idea of opening up defense to the tune of 49%, FDI to the tune of 49%. I don't think there can be a better location than Hyderabad. Hyderabad at one point was considered impregnable, therefore all these defense establishments were set up here. But now after so many years, I think nothing is impregnable in the world anymore. But nevertheless, Hyderabad has a wonderful ecosystem of DRDOs, DRDLs and several other defense institutes and several other ancillary units, and some of them could be sitting here and supplying. In fact, we are very, very proud, sir, that while ISRO has sent MOM to Mars, our Hyderabad companies have also had a role to play. In fact, ECIL, I think, had a role to play. I think even some other private sector companies also had a role to play with some spare parts being supplied. So we do have a role, and we take pride in that. But we are not happy with it. While we have identified Hyderabad as a potential aerospace opportunity, I would also like to bring to your attention that we already have certain work done. In fact, the very first investment that we have attracted into the state of Telangana after it came into being, the very first event that our Chief Minister attended was at Aerospace Park in Adibatla, which is currently being run by the Tata Advanced Systems, where they are now manufacturing a complete helicopter cabin through an association with Sikorsky. And that helicopter is actually being used by the American president. So there are some wonderful things happening in Hyderabad in the aerospace area already. We have Tatas working with Sikorsky. Tatas are also working with Lockheed Martin. They're also working with Ruwag. And they also entered into another partnership with an aircraft manufacturing facility called Dornier. So all in all, now we have an helicopter manufacturing, cabin manufacturing facility. We have a complete aircraft manufacturing facility. We have several other interested parties coming forward. And in fact, interestingly enough, work sector-wise. We'll devise sector-wise policies. We'll have sector-wise point people so that you can reach out to them. And when things can't be done, they'll be escalated to us. So all the potential is there. The numbers are beautiful. The potential is there. The opportunities are there. Now it's up for the grabs. The location-wise, as I said, can't beat this because world-class airport, and then about 10 kilometers from the airport, you have the E-City, which is really, really very, very well connected to the airport. It takes hardly 10 minutes for you to get there, so I don't think there could be a better location. And Maheshwaram as well, it's hardly 15 minutes away from the airport. Can't really beat that location. So this is a non-issue, and in fact, this is a great issue, a great positive issue for us to promote EMC in Hyderabad. The one company that has come forward so far was a company called Tintometer from the UK, which had started a dialogue with the government of Andhra Pradesh, erstwhile government of Andhra Pradesh, but did not go anywhere. But now they've come forward. They are setting up shop in one of our EMCs. That is going to be probably the first foreign investment in our EMC after Telangana has been formed. So a welcome sign, not a big investment, but a good start. So we are looking at a lot of potential opportunities, but once again I reiterate, our commitment toward the local manufacturers is something that is unflinching. We will stand by you. We will want you to do more. Kindly work with us to spruce up our policy. Kindly also work with us to make our city better. You're all Hyderabadis, therefore I don't need to sell you on Hyderabad. These are all the advantages that Hyderabad enjoys. Wonderful, cosmopolitan city with great connectivity. Thrice the infrastructure at one third the cost of a Bangalore. Twice the infrastructure at half the cost of a Chennai. Comparable cities, because Ajayji mentioned Chennai, Bangalore and Pune. I'm not going to trash Pune because Pune is something I like. I went to school there. Very wonderful weather. 300 days of a year, you actually can enjoy the weather here. And it's as I said, a cosmopolitan city. Second in terms, Hyderabad needs no new introduction anywhere in the globe today. It's known for its IT dominance. And as a city, we are ranked third globally, third best city globally in the LinkedIn IT talent survey. So all in all, wonderful trappings and great things to look forward to. And I hope this workshop and your deliberations go very, very well. And let's take advantage of all the schemes that were mentioned by Deputy Secretary, all the opportunities that were presented earlier before I walked in. And our government's commitment is unflinching, as I said. We will stand by you. We will ensure that our industry grows by leaps and bounds in the next 5 years and in days to come as well. So I look forward to a wonderful working association with all of you. When it reaches the stink quotient, it will become, it can trigger an alert, and it is smart dustbins also. I said, this is all great. In fact, that gentleman was going on, and he said, सी व्हेन समबडी कट्स अ लेन, आप ट्रैफिक में कोई लेन कट करता है तो वो भी हम लोग अलर्ट कर सकते हैं, उसका फोटो ले सकते हैं, ये सब बोल रहे थे वो। तो मैंने पूछा सर ये सब ठीक है, बट हम लोग हैदराबाद में हैं, इंडिया में है, हमारे यहाँ लेन कटिंग करना तो बहुत आम बात है, हमारे यहाँ वन वे में लोग हमारे तरफ आते रहते हैं, तो उसका कोई टूल है क्या, मैंने पूछा। तो उसने कहा भाई ये तो मैंने सोचा नहीं। तो मैं क्या कह रहा हूं सर, स्मार्ट सिटी जो सिंगापुर में लागू हो सकती है वो यहां नहीं लागू होगा। यहां इंडियन टूल चाहिए, इंडियन मार्केट के लिए, इंडियन कंडीशंस के लिए अपना फॉर्मूला चाहिए, अपना रेसिपी चाहिए। जो बार्सिलोना में कर रहे हैं, कोई और कहीं कर रहा है, वो हमारे लिए लागू नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि हमारा देश थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, हमारे लोग थोड़े कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, हमारा देश थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, सरकार भी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। द पॉइंट इज we have to find our own solutions and our own recipes. We can't merely be looking at a solution that is made in Singapore or elsewhere, not trashing that gentleman who's your friend. But if there is a customizable product which is relevant to us,